Hello, romance. Ashley Collins, aka The Onto Dragons. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Breakup Diaries. Have you ever had someone point out something to you that's like a flaw about you, and then you're like, I don't care, but then like as I was turning on the camera, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're right, but I don't care. Fuck it. So this is a subject that what I like to do sometimes, I like to like dip into like different people's lives to see what they're talking about, see if it's anything interesting, something educational, something silly, something entertaining, etc., etc. And sometimes I find like it sparks inspiration. So I was watching my friend Fatih. I went live with him. One of his videos is on my YouTube channel, but he was talking to someone about meeting the parents of a potential lover, you know, and he made some comments, and I was like, huh, and it it brought back memories that I wanted to keep hidden in my mind attic, and they just come like they just overflowed, and I just kind of like not literally but like figuratively threw up in my mouth thinking about the experiences that I had meeting exes parents. So let's just go ahead and get this out the way, shall we? My first boyfriend in high school, oh god, that was bad. That was the guy who hit me, actually. My first time getting hit by a guy. But why are you smiling about that? But his mom hated me. Oh my god, there was nothing I could do to make this woman like me. And I remember once I went over there because they were painting their house, and she just like ripped me a new asshole. She was like, "You're not very pretty. You should take care of your skin more. You should dress better." And I was like, "Bro, I'm a teenager." You know, like at the time I was thinking that, but like I was raised to respect adults, right? So I'm like, oh, you know, shut your mouth and listen to the adult. But I remember thinking to myself, who talks to a kid like this? You know, like, why are you bullying me, 40-year-old woman? You know? um, um, my main ex, I always want to say his name, but when I met his parents, I remember being so nervous, and this is gonna sound really bad, but he was white, so I was really nervous that like, oh, like, what if they don't like me because I'm black? Which sounds so stupid, I know, but I adored his parents so much. They were so, I would say, I think I wrote her a letter once when he and I broke up. No, I sent her a text message, and I was like, I really wish you would have been my mother-in-law, because I really really enjoyed her. She was so freaking nice. His dad was just like the typical you, how you would picture a dad should be. You would that was him, you know. And then we broke up, and obviously, like, here's the thing though, like, when you're dating someone, let's say that the family does like you, let's say that they do enjoy you, right? But once the relationship has ended, they're obviously going to say things like, oh, I never really liked them in the first place, you can do better anyway, etc., etc., because you always want to guard your child's heart, you know. My most recent ex, his family hated me. Oh my god, his family and friends did not like me for the life of me. And it was so weird how we would be so phony with each other, because I knew they didn't like me, you know. But it was like, I would go to the family gatherings, and he would just be like, you know, talk to them, talk to them. I'm like, but they don't like me, so why are we pretending? You know, like, why as adults we have to pretend that we enjoy each other? You know, you don't like me, I don't like you, because you guys are perverts and liars and cheaters, so let's just leave it at that. God, I wish I would have said it right then and there. God. But it's oh god, it's so awkward and so uncomfortable, and also like I don't have to audition to be a part of your child's life. I shouldn't have to do that. When should you meet your potential lover's parents? I was going to say like 6 months, a year, when you think that it's something serious, but then as I was pondering the subject, I was thinking to myself, why does it matter? Why is the prerequisite? Why is it going to the next level, meeting the parents? Because you're I think it's because we're intimidated what our parents are going to think about this potential lover, and then if they don't enjoy them, are you going to stop dating them? Let's say that you meet the parents 2 years later, and let's say that the dad hates them. Are you going to stop dating that person? because you don't have your parents' approval. And maybe it's a cultural thing, you know, maybe it's a religious thing where it's like I hold my parents to extent, I hold my parents' opinions so high that I'm willing to do anything to make them happy. And I don't think that that's proving that you're independent from your parents, which I'm sure a lot of parents could be very upset by listening to this. But it's true, because at some point, as a result of leaving the nest, I need to figure out what does and doesn't work for me. And if every one of my moves, is I have to make sure that I do such and such to make my parents happy, then you didn't raise an independent child. All they're doing is just basically living their life for you, living their life to make you happy. And this is going to sound really cruel, and I've said this before, but you don't owe your parents anything, because you didn't ask to be born. You didn't ask to be here. You know, they willfully, wanting to, from the love of their heart, hopefully, raised you for 18 years. So once you finally leave the nest, you don't owe them anything. You know? So when it comes to the timeline to meet the parents, it doesn't matter if you like this person or not, because you are not dating them. I'm the one who's dating them. And if it turns into a whole shit show, that's my fault. That's my responsibility. Something that they say when raising a child is, I'm not planning on having any kids anytime soon, not in this lifetime. But something I like to say when people ask me, "Do you have any kids?" I always reply, "In this economy." Like I can go days without eating. I didn't eat last night, and I'm like, can you imagine, like, if I didn't eat, you expect me to feed a kid? God. But what was I saying? Talking about something that they say when raising a child is, don't do something for the child that they can do for themselves, because they need to learn how to be independent. They need to learn how to do things for themselves. This is something that I've been doing with my injury. When I'm going to get ice, to refill ice at the restaurant, my whole goal is I can do this for myself, because I need to learn how to do it again alone, you know? So if you introduce your potential partner to your parents and they say, "I disapprove," you're not thinking for yourself. You're literally living your life for them, and they've already lived their life. They've already made their mistakes. They won't admit it to you, but they've already made their mistakes. And I think this is going to sound a little bit Oedipus Rex-ish, but I think that so for me, if I had a dad, no matter what guy I bring to the house, my dad is not going to approve of him, because no one's going to be good enough for daddy's little girl. For guys, when they bring the girl to the house, no one's going to be good enough for my son. And I think that's because if I was a parent, I would want my child to date someone who is like me. Or I would want my child to date someone who is the complete opposite of me. So if I see you and me, that's a good thing, or it can be a bad thing. Which I said, I know that sounds a little bit Oedipus Rexy, but it's true, you know? I think that when you bring a partner over to meet the family, I think that you should just treat them as family. Not as this person is like, "Oh, you have to say this," and I was also going to make like a list of like things to say to meet the parents, etc., etc. But then that's lying, and that's manipulative. Because are you going to put on this act the rest of your relationship? Are you going to put on this act? Let's say that you guys do get married, the entirety of your marriage until the parents pass. That's got to be exhausting. That's got to be exhausting to put on that show. But if you're willing to do it, sure. Or you can just be yourself. And if the parents don't approve, like I said, I'm not dating you. I'm dating your son. And the standard should be, as long as you make my child happy, don't hit them, don't lie to them, don't cheat, don't steal from them, and then you're cool with me. Just make them smile, make them happy. You're cool with me. And if the relationship doesn't work out, it was nice to meet you. Good luck on your journey throughout life. Have a good life. What am I quoting? Venom. I saw Venom last night. Oh my God. Tom Hardy is so, I had to stop and rewind a couple of times because I'm like, I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying, Tom. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to objectify you. But what else was I gonna say? Our parents have the best of intentions where they want to see us, they want to make sure that we're okay when they're not here. But of course they're not going to say that out loud because you're like, that's a tough conversation to have, because then like you're confronting your own mortality, mortality. My uncle was taking me to work the other day and he was just giving me advice after advice after advice. You should work here, you should work here, you should work here, you'd like this, and I'm like, I get what you're doing, I get it. And I think that's sweet. I think that's so kind. I think that's so compassionate. And at the end of the day, our parents are always going to be worried about us. God, my mom's constantly always blowing up my phone whenever I leave the house. I can literally walk out the door right now and she's blowing up my phone. Where are you going? Are you okay? Is it raining? And imagine your parents right now. They're worried about you. They're worried that, oh my God, did they get into a car accident? Are they being robbed right now? Is everything okay with them? But I'm not going to bother them because they're an adult, but I'm still worried about them because that's my baby. The last show that I worked on, called Motherhood Out Loud, and I'm paraphrasing the monologue, but she said something along the lines of, it's been 37 years for you that you've been alive, but for me it's been 37 minutes. You're still my baby. If you find yourself intimidated to meet the parents, dare I say, don't freak out about it. Either they're a warm, welcoming, loving family or they're not. And like I said, maybe you think it's bad advice to be yourself, but they're going to find out anyway. They're eventually going to find out. And don't pit the parents against the child. I've done that before. Very ashamed of doing that, but don't do that. And like I said, worst case scenario, if they end up not liking you, what's the worst that can happen? You're not allowed to Thanksgiving functions. That's fine. Spend Thanksgiving with your family. You guys need time apart anyway. Spend Thanksgiving with your family. They can spend Thanksgiving with theirs. Or you guys can just go on a vacation together. You don't have to do family functions together. Let's say that maybe they're like, oh, I'm not going to show up to the wedding. That's fine. One less mouth to feed. Like... I know that it's, because I know that a lot of times we still constantly want our parents' approval, It's like getting your report card and rushing home saying, look, I did a good job, You rush home because you're like, oh my God, I found the one. Look, I did a good job, right, Mom? You like her, right? That's so interesting that we do that. That's so interesting how we still grasp for our parents' approval. But at some point you gotta, what's that? What movie am I quoting right now where he says, I don't know if I can say this out loud. At some point you gotta pop your mama's titty out of your mouth and grow up. What am I quoting? That's a comedian. I don't know what I'm quoting right now. But yeah. Those are my thoughts. And let me be more specific why other than fatigue inspired me to talk about that. I invited a gentleman caller over and my mom was home and he's like, can I still come over? And I was like, if you feel comfortable, that's fine. And when he pulled up, I was like, she's in the kitchen. And he's like, that's fine. I'll talk to her. I don't care. And I was like, God, you're right. It's not that big of a deal. You know that I'm dating Mom. You know that, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how many guys you meet. God, I hope it's not going to be that many. But like I said, the standard is, do you make my daughter smile? That's cool with me. That's cool. You're another human being. Cool. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I didn't give too bad of advice. Look what I can do. I'm trying to practice. I think I'm on bar tonight. I didn't ask, but I'm trying to practice flipping with my left hand. Dude, did you see that though? Did you see? That was really good. Oh, but now I have to practice like that could have been glass, but it was I gotta practice. Okay, bye guys.